This cough is annoying. Hi. I'm just winding some yarn that decided to go floof because I do not like it when yarn goes floof all over the place. So I was just thinking that this teal would make a nice, really interesting fun scarf with a whole bunch of varieties of different yarns to go with it. Like I happen to have two balls of this stuff right here. And yeah, I quite like it. I bet this would go very nice with some teal. But we'll figure that out at a later date. So this is the first time I am trying out the live stream feature. It's actually limited on mobile at the moment. I do not have 1K subscribers, but that's okay. I'm trying to work on that. And ooh, look at that. It's this is the scarfy type in turquoise. And so I like to hand wind balls because I can do it and keep it a much tighter consistency, and they don't tend to come undone a whole lot. I do have a ball winder, which is very nice to hook up, but I don't really have a good setup for it at the moment. So nothing beats just winding yarn by hand. That's all I'm doing. So hi, my name is Sarah. I like to make yarn, and I like to make sparkly things with yarn. And sometimes I like to just see what kinds of sparkly things I can attach with yarn. So let's not get the end tangled in there because that'll be annoying. And then we can't find it. And then you have to rewind them with all the yarn because it gets a whole crazy. So I don't think I recall actually using this yarn for any projects. So I literally have the entire bit of yarn to work with and everything. Let's see, I'm not too familiar with that. Let's see, live chat maybe. I can turn on the live chat. There we go. Now I can see if y'all are typing something whenever it pops up. So yeah, it's just a Sunday night, at least for me. I don't know where. It's probably Monday morning wherever you might be. Who knows? Yeah, I got work in the morning. I've been trying to get over whatever the heck this weird cold sickness was. So I got the remaining bits of congestion, but it's doing pretty good. My poor little Bubby. Oh, he's been fighting. He was fighting fevers all week. Just crazy. I think I only worked a full shift one day this week. Poor little dude. But he did so good today. He had no fevers from what I could tell yesterday. And he was not hot at all today. So it's good because I think he's going to be able to go back to preschool tomorrow. Finally, he made it like an hour out of like the short amount of time for all last week. He made it like 1 hour. Poor little thing. He's just doing so good. I love my little Bubby. He is 3, my little guy. And yeah, that is why, it's one of the reasons why it's hard to get a whole lot of content filmed and out sometimes, because well, the different work schedules between my husband and I, which I have no complaints about. But it means that while he's resting, my husband's resting during the daytime because he works nights, I'm usually up and watching my little guy and taking care of him and everything. And then I will finally get some time to sit down, usually in the evening or on the weekends during nap time, and do this stuff, like right now. And I am very much enjoying the new lighting because if any of y'all have seen maybe in the past videos, the lighting's been kind of trash. And I discovered that one of my cats is trying to claw at the door, and they are not allowed really in here. So that's what you're hearing. Anyway, LED daylight lighting. It's very nice. Because then it's like, this is pretty close to accurate. It's a little washed out, but the lighting, the colors are pretty close and everything. And yeah, I still have quite a bit of yarn down on the ground. Like I said, this sickness is just bleh. It's terrible. And I don't mind at all just doing this. It's pretty soothing. It's actually really nice to do whenever you're idly watching something like a TV show, or in my case YouTube. This is just usually, especially when yarn gets all tangled and everything and it needs to be unwound and rewound properly. It is nice to do something with your hands. And it's more like, it's kind of like a fidget stem, if you really think about it. That's probably why it doesn't bother me, other than just the general annoyance that maybe your yarn is tangled. But usually that's because of my fault. So who am I to get upset with myself? Really. I mean, this isn't bad. Like, this is actually much harder, really, if it's all tangled up. And then, say, the one time at a past job, I had some coworkers who did not put these hoses away properly. Like, they just left them strewn out. And leave it to me to, like, run them all back and forth. And these aren't just garden hoses. These were water hoses that were rated to run 40,000 psi through them. That's what I used to work with. Well, my coworkers did. I was not physically, upper body strength, strong enough at one point to run the power washers that would put out, at least topping out at 40,000 psi. But beside the point, they had these stupid hoses all strewn out, so I just ran back and forth, one into the other, undid them, and realistically, the hoses were easy. Yarn is a lot harder, but hey, I am the one who likes to work with yarn, and I don't do that job anymore, but that's okay. I am an office worker now, but I really like what I do. I like helping out the company that I work for. It's awesome. And I am getting pretty close to a lot of this ball. Okay, it's still fair amounts tangled and everything. Oh, alright. We're getting to the yarn bar section. Speaking of barf, my poor little Bodie. He got sick on the couch last night. And got him in the bath and all cleaned up. Get nice clean little baby. Take care of him. Poor little thing. He wasn't sick, I think, because of the sickness. He was doing actually pretty good. I think he got sick because Daddy was roughhousing with him right after he had medicine and food. And I look over and he's just like, bleh. And I'm like, okay, Sarah, Daddy don't know what to do. It was pretty funny. I'm over here like I just jump up, grab some towels, and bring them right back, and I'm like, okay, you, hubby, go run bath now. And he's like, go run bath. So yeah, I'm like, out of the two of us, I generally tend not to panic as much about things. There's only a few things that made me really freak out a whole big ton. Like there's one time that our kitchen sink had a leak in it, and it was such a slow leak that wasn't caught until it was just subtly just dripping through the basement ceiling, which we caught that in time. Like really, we got off really lucky. But I just looked up there and I basically had a meltdown, and that's like one time where I just didn't know what to do. And I think it just comes down to, do I have a plan, and is this gonna be okay? Because realistically, like tonight, my kiddo managed to grab a hold of a bag of rice that was, why it was on the bottom shelf, I do not know. But of course, Bubby would grab the random bag of rice and spill some of it. But it's still rice, so it had to be cleaned up. And I'm like, and Hubby Bear is like, why? And I'm like, just go get the broom. It's just a little bit of rice. Just go get the broom. And it's like, I had to sweep the kitchen anyway. That kitchen needed a sweeping because like we've all been kind of feeling like trash this week. And what in the world? And then there, what is going on? What is going on? Aha, that is what's going on. See, yarn. This is why I wrap it up and everything and all the stuffs. Oh, this is gonna be the stupid part here in a second. I can tell. I'm thinking, why are you all twisty? I'm thinking I got one of the ends here. And anyway, the great thing about this is like if you get frustrated, you can always put this down and go do something else usually. Like you don't have to unwind the whole thing like at the time because all right, let's just get this moved and strewn about and all organized. And thank you. Hi y'all. Thank you for the like. I really do appreciate it. Just in case you missed the beginning, I'm really just trying out the live feature. It's pretty limited since I do not have the 1,000 subscribers. And if you're lucky, you'll probably be able to, you're seeing this now, but I am told that it's going to either private itself after this is done. I might be able to turn it back on public, which I'm going to try to find out. I should be, so I can't imagine why it would stop me from doing so, but I mean that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, sometimes just when you want to do something, you don't know what kind of craft you want to do. Sometimes just pays off in the long run just to untangle your yarn and stuff and all that stuff. So, I'm just see. Let's do this together. See, just gently tease it apart, and okay, there we go. See, this is why I used to think I'm part cat, but realistically, I am just definitely part cat, but also self-realized autistic. Like, at this point, I really don't think I would go for official diagnosis or nothing, because one, I mean, I am not sure where to start, really. I could still go for one. But two, it's not really affecting my life as much. And 3, well, I mean, I might go for it if it would benefit my child, because it is hereditary in a lot of cases and stuff. So that, and my little guy, he's very smart, but he's not talking a whole lot, not a whole lot of vocabulary going on just yet. He can communicate, definitely, and we're still working with him. It didn't really help that one. Well, he was great during his preschool and everything for the first week. And then it was spring break, so they were off. And that's when I noticed that he and I were starting to get the sniffles and a light cough. And so it was last weekend that all of a sudden, like, I felt like garbage and he felt like garbage. So I made the executive decision to keep him home from school and myself from work, so I could like make sure and take care of him. And I thought he was doing good. He felt like he was doing good in the morning. And why is my yarn caught on the wheel of this cart? It's caught. And so Tuesday, yeah, I dropped him off at the sitter out near ours where he can go to school from. And he was probably at school for all of maybe an hour before they called me, because apparently he just maybe played for an hour and then he just dropped on the ground and took a nap right where he lay. There is an actual photo of him literally taking a nap on half off this mat on the ground next to a football, like a play football. He's just knocked out. Poor thing, he was cute. So had to go and grab him. And then my friend watched him out because grandma's not been feeling well. So my friend watched him out at her place, and he was doing fine up until they had to go out and he started getting warm and feverish again. So I left work early again for the second day. That was Wednesday. Now Thursday he did really good. He was maybe a little bit warm and a little bit tired, but he didn't have to do too much, but except for be his little Bodie self. But he was not really in a playful mood. When I pulled up, he was outside, and usually he's running around outside playing with sticks and stuff. I pull up, he's sitting on the curb, like on the sidewalk portion by their house, looking like he's waiting for the bus. Like, I don't want to go to work. That's the vibe that I got off of him, poor little guy. And then, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm telling you what, man. It's this congestion. Hopefully I have it knocked out by this week. And so Friday, I drop him off at my friends again. And I make it all of but to about 12:45, 1 p.m. And poor little guy, I think it was because it was really warm out and he was running around playing. He had a very good morning. Ate a lot of good food to get that appetite up. But then I think what happened was he was running around and then he got overheated because he was probably still a little feverish. This little guy popped up 104, 105, and they got him into a cool bath real fast. And so I left work, grabbed him, and we waited at the express care for him, to which we just basically got him some amoxicillin. And that little guy, it must be tasting really good because this little child just takes that like a champ. Awesome. Yarn ball is finished winding. Hi. Thank you for the likes. This is the Lion brand Scarfie. I literally just had a brain fart. And I was just talking about my poor child's up and down thing with being sick this week. But this is Lion brand Scarfie, all ready to be created into something awesome. I am thinking about using this. This is also Lime Brand. And this is in color Deep Lagoon. I don't know if it'll focus. That's about as far as it's going to focus. I actually have 2 of these balls skating somewhere. One's in my hand. The other one's floating around here somewhere. I don't know. And this behind me is a very nice china cabinet, which we inherited from a past family member. And I have purposed it into a display case. It's actually got this row here, has some spinning supplies and some other sparkly bits back there. And I got the hand spun up here. And there's one more up past there. Some more hand spun to be displayed. It is very nice because it keeps it off. You actually have to get into this, so no little sticky hands. And it keeps it all nice and vertically, plus I can see it, which is very, very helpful to be able to see your stuff, especially if you, I think my doctor agrees that I'm ADHD. I suspect so, and with the combo, it makes a lot of sense that I have both a bit of ADHD or full, and I am probably self-realized autistic, which is not a bad thing, not in my case, because I have since learned a lot about myself, and a lot of stuff makes a lot of sense, and I can like figure out the stuff to advocate for myself a lot better. But anyway, I'm rambling on. This is about yarn. This is some yarn. I just wound this up, and so I don't know if what the limit actually meant on, because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. I'm limited on mobile lives, so I don't know if that means if the 25 plus subscribers meant that like I get 25 minutes, which that didn't say, so I don't think that is. But just in case I disappear in the next 90 seconds, it was a fun time just finding some ball yarn. I think other than the neon squares I've been working on, I just finished up a pin loom square, which I have behind me, because this yarn was floating around. Like I started it and then I pulled it off to do something else. I think the last thing I did was the pin loom square where I had sequins in it, and I did a video on that a good while back, and if you want to go check that out, I kind of explain how I was able to use sequins, or you could use beads with using a pin loom. And what you really do is just use the warp yarn that has your sequins and just lay it out, and then your weft is going to be the one that doesn't have anything but the yarn itself. And now it will look funny because your sequins are laying flat down, but when you pull it back up, you can flip it right side over, and that'll be your right side with the sequins on it, and it looks really cool. So I did a video on that a while back. It's somewhere in one of my playlists. Oh, hi. But yeah. And so I haven't got too much to say. I was just trying out the live feature. So these are some of the squares that I had done. And what I kind of want to do is maybe either just kind of lay them out here and find a place. I don't really have an actual workspace. Like there's a folding table that's folded up down over there that I could refold and open up, but I kind of want to put that downstairs so that they have a folding table to work with. But yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, those squares are awesome. There is a bucket. It's a Halloween bucket right back there that I have a bunch of the squares in. And much like how these are, like they're very similar. So I have a bunch of these, like I have a ton of these. I have a bunch of either. And I was just thinking of putting together a, I don't know if it's going to be a top. It might be something similar, but it might just be a wrap or a shawl or something. I don't know. I got I got a good stack full of 2-ply hand spun that I had drop spindled for that intents and purposes for pinwheel weaving. And that'll probably be what I'll work on since this project here, the neon stripes, has gotten to the point where it's not feasible for me to take it um, in my work bag of items and stuff. So I think we're going to move on to the pinloom squares next for crafting before and during lunch breaks. And it's funny. They're like, "Wow, you you can do." I'm like, "Mm-hmm, yeah." One of the bosses is like, "You can crochet." Or as knitting or is it crochet? She knows like the difference, obviously. And I'm like, this one's crochet because I held up the squares and she's like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I do both. And she's like, I know. I'm like, yep. I don't think they realize what all I can do because like going down the special interest thing, it's like I just learn and take interest in a lot of different yarn crafts. Like the one thing that I haven't been able to really pick up as much is I can't get over the curling that happens with Tunisian crochet. Like it kind of bothers me. Like realistically, I know it could block out, and if you just proceed forward with it and go with it, I just can't wrap my head around it. Just really start and like complete anything. I know how to do it. I just I don't like the curling. I don't. And then the other thing I haven't really ever worked with that looks really interesting, but I can't really wrap my brain around it too much is needle binding. Now that'd be pretty cool to try that sometime. Um, Definitely. And so pinling weaving, I have a rigid heddle downstairs, which is probably why I haven't put up the table in here yet, because if I take that table downstairs and put it there, it's a nice, decent sized table. I can just kind of put it and grab one random chairs that we have around and be able to sit down and actually work on something and actually finish it. Yeah. It's like part of it is liking the process, and the other part is like liking the finished product. Um, but yeah, so I am just rambling at this point, and I just kind of wanted to try out this live feature and see how that rolls. And I'll be trying to get up some content, and probably the next step probably what I'll do here is go watch some YouTube and start stitching more of those squares together, and we'll see what we get, because it's not going to look like the thumbnail. I'm pretty certain that there's no way that those squares are going to look exactly like in the same orientation that I did in the previous videos, but that's okay. That's kind of the point. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be put together very cool. It's going to be unique, and we do not strive for perfection. We try to go close to it, but we are never going to get it. So we just try to make it look good, but also chaos, because chaos is kind of fun sometimes. Anyway, I am going to get out of here and maybe go get something to drink, and I will catch you in the next one. Go make something sparkle and have a good one. See ya.